Hello guys, welcome back to LR Anime. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of BTTH The Flame Emperor episode number 221 based on novel. So let's start. Looking at the sky, Xiao Yan gradually woke up. The eyes of Soul Eater, Kaylin, Xiao Yi, and Long Yi all became strange. Mu Yingying's actions just now were undoubtedly seen by all of them, but because of Mu Yingying's request, it was quite difficult not to tell Xiao Yang. Where am I? Hell. Xiao Yang slowly opened his pupils and couldn't help but say something. Wake up. The Soul Eater on the side said something slightly when he heard the words. Master of Soul Eater, color scales. I'm not dead. When Xiao Yang heard this, he couldn't help but be startled. According to Xiao Yang's memory, he had just blocked the blow for Mu Yingying, and he was seriously injured and was on the verge of death. How could he be here at this time? My body. The next moment, Xiao Yang seemed to notice that a warm flame was burning slowly in his heart, and even the power in his body was surging. This kind of appearance is obviously not comparable to the previous middle stage of the 7-star Do Emperor. What Xiao Yang didn't know was that after Mu Yingying sacrificed, not only did she use the Holy Flame Crystal and the power of Holy Flame to help Xiao Yang reshape her heart, she even changed a lot of things in Xiao Yang's body. Kaylin, where's Yingying? Xiao Yang couldn't help asking, as if he noticed that only Yu was at a stalemate with King Shenling in the sky, while everyone else's eyes sank. She's not, she's here. Kaylin hesitated for a while, then shook his head and pointed lightly at Xiao Yang's chest. As Xiao Yang's wife, Kaylin naturally knew Xiao Yang's temper. This matter would not be hidden for long, so she simply told it directly. How could it be? Xiao Yang also felt that something was wrong and asked in doubt. Okay, Yingying, she has another wish. She hopes to help her brother get rid of the curse, and that King Shenling is the culprit of all this. Kaylin said softly. Leave it to me. It didn't take long for Xiao Yang to understand something. He had just fallen. After all, at that time, the power in his body was already exhausted, and in order to resist the devastating blow of King Shenling, Xiao Yang directly risked himself, and his chest and heart were directly broken, so he was still intact. No damage, even the power in the body has skyrocketed a lot, making Xiao Yang undoubtedly have some conjectures. Yueru, come down. Let me make Yingying's wish for this bastard. Xiao Yang called out softly to Yueru in the sky. Yeah. Yu heard the words and also landed. Xiao Yang suffered a big change just now, but Yu still couldn't take it out. After all, if no one could deal with King Shenling, I'm afraid everyone here would die. Little bastard, I didn't expect you to get another holy flame. That's my thing. Death to this king. Although King Shenling had spent a lot of fighting energy in his body after fighting for a long time, but after all, he was a genuine 1-star fighting immortal, and naturally it was not comparable to Xiao Yang. Boom. King Shenling clenched his fist tightly, with a trace of black and red evil power, suddenly attacked Xiao Yang. Old dog, how cool is the fight? The King Xuanling's seemingly tyrannical attack was easily taken by Xiao Yang with one hand, and then Xiao Yang asked the King Shenling with a grim expression. How is it possible? Your power. Impossible. How can the power of Holy Flame increase the strength of a person? It's impossible. The Shenling King couldn't help roaring as he watched Xiao Yang take his attack with one hand. Because at this time Xiao Yang and King Shenling felt that they were not a terminally ill mouse, but a lion that had just woken up and was full of rage. Bang bang bang. Xiao Yang suddenly exerted force, and directly sent Shenling King flying out a distance of dozens of meters. Let you, this fellow, have a good experience of the true power of Saint Flame. As the master of my holy flame, I will kill you, a narrow-minded person who is trying to collude with the evil race outside the territory. Yingying, this time, I will fight for you. Gathering flames for you. And Xiao Yang's pupils were filled with a deep blue. Even as soon as he finished speaking, there was a burst of cheers from his heart, as if he was happy because of Xiao Yang's words. Fire Heart Tianyang. Ghost Face and Soul Flame. Empty Ice Flame. 3 flames gathering. Destroy the devils. Xiao Yang stepped into the air, and the 3 holy flames of each color emerged directly, and then they slowly merged under Xiao Yang's control. Xiao Yang's voice was like thunder, echoing in King Xuanling's mind. How can it be? How can it be? Yang Kai. Medusa. The Shenling King saw Xiao Yang's arrogant aura, and immediately knew that if he didn't take defensive measures, he would probably fall into Xiao Yang's hands completely. The fusion of the previous 2 holy flames, the lotus of life and death, is enough to seriously injure yourself. If the 3 holy flames are fused, there is no way out for you. Only fall. You've done a lot of evil. just fall like this. It's better that Shen Santian is quiet. Yu, who was on the side, looked at King Shenling and said, I can't just fall like this. I haven't unified Shen 3 days, and I haven't swallowed the holy flame. I can't just die like this. Soul Ball. At this time, the Shenling king seemed to be resurrected because of Xiao Yang's death, and he became like a lunatic. The silver soul ball just appeared, and suddenly, a powerful force continuously communicated with the soul ball on the Shenling king. And the next moment, the 10 Dozian trapped by the Blood River Bell, as well as the many powerhouses who were stopped by Longyi Xiaoyi, broke through the siege one after another, and under King Xuanling's urging of the soul ball, they faced the front of King Shenling. Gather away. Ha ha ha. Xiao Yang. Come on if you can. I use all the Shentian powerhouses as a human wall. If you attack, then you are the sinner of the master. Ha ha ha. King Shenling gathered all the powerhouses under his control directly in front of him, forming a natural human wall, trying to dispel Xiao Yang's idea of integrating the 3 holy flames. Today, no matter what you do, you can't escape the fate of falling. Senior Soul Eater, trouble you. Xiao Yang was still fusing the 3 holy flames on his own, and then said to the Soul Eater Lord behind him. However, I don't know why, this time, it was easier after integrating with the holy flame. It was not as unfamiliar as the first time, but Xiao Yang didn't know that all of this was due to Mu Yingying's reshaping of her heart. The Soul Eater heard the words. Without any delay, the direct figure disappeared like a ghost, and the next moment appeared in front of the Shenling king. Your strength, how is it possible? When the air mass of the Master Soul Eater appeared in front of the Shenling king only felt a powerful force, and he couldn't breathe. Bring it. The Lord of Soul Eater said with killing intent, cold and heartless. If the Lord of Soul Eater is ready to make a move, with him at this time, he can easily wipe out the entire Shentian Santian. However, because of the preservation of strength, there was such a thing as the sacrifice of Mu Yingying, which really made the Lord of Soul Eater. Unexpectedly, I am not prepared to have reservations now. Crash. As soon as the Lord of Soul Eater's voice fell, the silver soul ball in the hands of the Shenling king was swallowed directly by the Lord of Soul Eater. Bastard. King Shenling couldn't help roaring as he watched his last means of saving his life being taken away. Even if you stole the soul ball, you have no way to control them. My soul power has reached the Emperor realm. Unless the soul power among you is stronger than mine, and the soul power in the soul ball is erased, it is useless to steal it. Ha ha ha. Just wait to die. And as King Xuanling's voice fell, a feeling of being cut off from his soul force came from the depths of King Xuanling's soul. How could it be? Heavenly great perfection. At this moment, the pupils of King Shenling truly became fearful, not only because the connection of the soul ball was completely cut off, but also because of the fusion of Xiao Yang's 3 holy flames in the sky. At this time, the sky was filled with an indescribable terrifying aura, and the source of that aura was actually a black-robed man. The man in black robe was Xiao Yang. At this time, he only wanted to avenge Mu Yingying, because according to Xiao Yang's speculation, Mu Yingying was obliterated by Shenling King, so he left Sheng Yang to himself, but he did not know that Mu Yingying was to save himself. The fusion of 3 flames. Since Yingying is an ethereal ice flame, let's call you ethereal tears. On Xiao Yang's old palm, a delicate lotus seed that was as crystal clear as tears slowly bred and came into being. You guy, how can the soul power reach the soul power of heaven-level great perfection? No, all of this is a lie. The King Shenling watched his soul ball being swallowed by the Soul Eater and then returned to Xiao Yang's hands. At that time, the human wall formed by countless strong men in front of him was controlled by Xiao Yang. Slowly spread out, and then couldn't help exclaiming. Yueru, this is the soul ball, take it down and let the seniors release the control. Xiao Yang slowly gave the silver soul ball to Yueru. As for the solution, Xiao Yang had already branded it with his soul power. Yu heard the words, took the soul ball, and then went directly to the group of figures below. As for the Soul Eater, Long Yi and Xiao Yi were not far behind Xiao Yang. As for Kailin and Yang Kai, they were also a large team below. Next, let's settle the account between us. After Xiao Yang finished speaking, the ethereal tears full of destructive fluctuations on the palm of his hand slowly lifted, and he was ready to attack the King Shenling. Just because you want to kill me too? With the power of my self-destruction, the space crack, come out. And Shenling King is not to be outdone, even if he has no chance of winning, he still does not show weakness. She and I met a few years ago in the points plundering competition and participated in the immersion in the Shenling Emperor Pond, but we were seriously injured by your dragon-loving army mysterious demon. Familiar scenes continued to emerge from Xiao Yang's mouth. Come out. When Kaylin below heard Xiao Yang's words, she couldn't help shaking her head slightly. Ying, you really won my conviction. Even if Zuna blocks me in the future, I will still help you. Kaylin murmured, obviously Mu Ying's previous sentence, I just want him to live, and Mu Ying's desperate rescue of Xiao Yang made Kaylin moved. Such a good girl died today. So, King Shenling, you can only pay homage to all this with your death. With remorse, let your soul fly away. At the end of Xiao Yang's words, he actually carried an extremely tyrannical killing intent. The three-color ethereal tears in his hand were no longer suppressed, and they were directly out of Xiao Yang's control, and there was no repentance to the side. The Shenling King projected away. The fusion of the power of the three holy flames. While King Shenling looked at the terrifying attack, there was no trace of fear in his heart. At the same time, the space behind King Shenling actually became fragmented, and in a short time, it began to distort, as if something was about to shatter. Although the ethereal tears are lotus seeds, they are exactly the same as human tears, the same size, the same crystal silver and antimony, but the three colors contain a huge energy that destroys the sky and destroys the earth. The ethereal tears gently left Xiao Yang's palm, and then with a melodious ethereal voice, he suddenly attacked where the King Shenling was. The space freezes. It's really a terrifying method. Seeing the ethereal tears whistling towards him, the Shenling King also felt that the space around him was completely frozen. No matter how he used the means, they were all can't move an inch. Fall down. Seeing the ethereal tears approaching the Shenling King within 10 meters, Xiao Yang let out a loud cry, and then an extremely terrifying wave spread slowly and suddenly from the high sky. At this level of attack, I'm afraid even 1-star Dozian perfection level can't bear it. The two of you go out with me and set up a layer of defense, otherwise the entire Shen Santian will be destroyed by this guy. And the Lord of Soul Eater also knew that the power generated by the fusion of the three holy flames was enough to destroy the sky and destroy the earth. Dare to be sloppy. Okay. When Long Yi and Xiao Yi heard the words, their whole body energy emerged directly. At the place where Xiao Yang and Shenling King were fighting, circles of tyrannical forces directly formed an enchantment, trying to dispel the violent fluctuations generated by it. Besieged. Crash. Kongling tears came into contact with King Shenling, and exploded without heeding. On the circles of hot fire, there were as many as 3 kinds of khaki, cyan and azure. Color. Sure enough, so strong. It's just that I hate it. And as the attack that was enough to destroy the world exploded, the sinister voice of the Shenling King full of evil intentions came out. Boom boom boom. The circle after circle of attacks completely destroyed the barrier set up by the 3 Soul Eaters, and then the attack jumped directly over the sky of the Shenling Mountain altar, and shot at the entire Shentian Santian. Go. Go back. Xiao Yang's attack, I am afraid that the entire Shenling Mountain will be wiped out. Kaylin looked at Xiao Yang with anger in the sky, and couldn't help but said to some people around him. After Xiao Yang's 3-color space tier attack exploded, the Shenling King was directly suppressed by force, and in just a short moment, he was blown away by this earth-shattering attack. Shen Kang. A loud cry like a life-saving straw, but after Shen Kang got out of the control of the Shenling King, he was now a white bone, no different from a dead person. Just in the ashes, let your soul fly away. Xiao Yang's pupils were slightly closed, and an extremely terrifying soul force emerged, attacking the Shenling King and the white bone Xuanzang. Ha ha ha. Today I am defeated, but I will not make you feel better. Space crack. Shenling King resisted the huge energy generated by the ethereal tears, and then suddenly slapped. Shen Kang's bones were directly smashed, and he drank it against the sky. Fart. As King Xuanling's voice fell, a mouthful of blood went directly to the space that had been scorched by ethereal tears and became a little distorted, and King Xuanling's body, even soul, was also at this moment. Tears slowly pierced, but after Shen Kang's tyrannical skeleton was broken, it turned out to be the roar of this world. Bang bang bang. As King Xuanling's body and soul were completely pierced by ethereal tears, there was a sound of ice cubes breaking, and King Shenling disappeared completely. It's finally over. It's just this price. As the Shenling King completely fell, the Soul Eater below said slowly, Ying. Xiao Yang saw that the Shenling King had lost his mind, and then put his hand slightly on his heart, and a trace of blue flames sent out bursts of warmth. Second brother, be careful. Looking at Xiao Yang's scene, Xiao Yi below suddenly roared. Because the Shenling King at this time has completely fallen, but the sky here, under the final blow of the Shenling King and the turbid air of the ethereal tears, has become fragmented, and then there is a bang, bang, and a certain sky above the altar. There, a huge vortex suddenly emerged. This bastard, the Shenling King, has already fallen and created such a troublesome thing. Looking at the increasingly strong spatial crack in the sky, the Soul Eater couldn't help but whispered. The space crack in the sky is like a devil that devours everything. Senior, what are you doing now? Long Yi and Xiao Yi both looked at each other and asked. Naturally, the two of them smelled the dangerous fluctuations in the vortex of space cracks. The cracks in space are extremely dangerous, and I am afraid that even the strong immortals cannot guarantee a certain safety in them. And the teleportation of this space crack is random. Once it enters, no one knows where it will teleport to, said Soul Eater. The next moment, the huge vortex at the crack in the space exudes a huge suction force, directly involving some dead trees and flowers on the altar. Damn, what a strong suction. If this goes on, I'm afraid we all have to be sucked in. At this time, Xiao Yang, who was closest to the vortex of the space crack, frowned. With the strength and position of Xiao Yang at this time, he could smell the dangerous smell in the space crack. Where is this? It didn't take long. Many of the powerhouses at the altar below also woke up one after another. Xiao Yang. Zhu Jin tried his best to open his eyes, and immediately saw the figures of Xiao Yang and Long Yi in the sky, and couldn't help saying, "Where's King Shenling? What's going on?" Zhu Jin couldn't help but ask. Yang Kai. Zhu Jin saw Yang Kai the next moment, but at this moment, there was only a faint aura in Yench's eyes, and even his pupils were filled with hatred towards Xiao Yang. Xiao Yang's strength seems to be a bit terrifying. Shifu also narrowed his eyes slightly, looking at Xiao Yang in the sky. Although Xiao Yang's strength was not as strong as his own half-immortal, it made Shifu feel a sense of fear. Queen. Shifu ignored this for the time being, and spoke slightly to Kaylin. Xiao Yang is the hero of the entire Shen Santian. Kaylin's beautiful eyes moved slightly, and she said softly, "Hero? Could it be?" But the people headed by the Shentian 10 immortal fighting powerhouses seemed to know something and said, "He killed King Shenling. Otherwise, you are still a puppet under King Shenling." Kaylin's strength recovered, and he was not afraid of anyone here, and said with a shocked breath, "Sure enough." Some powerhouses vaguely remembered things under the control of King Shenling, so Kaylin said so, and immediately cast a respectful look at Xiao Yang in the sky. "Yueru?" The pavilion master of Wanhua Pavilion spoke slowly. "Teacher." Seeing the teacher speak, Yueru returned to her arms like a bird. The battle with King Shenling just now caused a lot of damage to Yueru, and after learning that Xiao Yang had married and had a family, Mu Yingying made a sacrifice later. Obviously, to Yueru, it seemed like she had just returned from hell, couldn't help walking towards the arms of the pavilion master of Wanhua Pavilion. "Yueru doesn't cry, it's good to go out." The pavilion master of Wanhua Pavilion was like a loving mother, slowly supporting Yueru's hair and comforting. While other members of the Shenling royal family were released from control, they also recovered one after another, but the old man Zhuo and some of the powerhouses of the Shenling royal family completely fell. That's the vortex of space cracks. The poison sect master on the side couldn't help but be startled. Obviously, although he had never seen this kind of thing with his own eyes, he knew its horror from the ancient books. "What can I do now? This vortex of cracks in space is a dangerous place that even a 2-star fighting immortal can swallow. But if we don't solve it, I'm afraid our entire Shensan will be swallowed up by it." The poison sect master couldn't help but said, "Let me come. I'm an old bone too. And this time I have been controlled by King Shenling for so long, and I have done a lot of wrong things. Let me make atonement for the royal family of Shenling." The sect master of the poison sect opened his mouth. Qin Tian, who was a little weak on the side, took a step forward. "Open your mouth slowly. Qin Tian, old ghost, you can't stop that thing." The strong man under the altar kept talking. "Senior, how can I stop this thing?" Xiao Yang found nothing after a brief investigation, as if no matter how he used his Do-Chi flame soul power, he had just touched the vortex of the space crack, and nothing was swallowed. The vortex of the space crack is to devour living beings. Unless it devours human beings, it will not stop. And the space crack at this time is enough to stop it with the 4 of us. However, if the 4 of us enter it, there is no guarantee where we will be teleported. The Lord of Soul Eater also said, "Devouring humans. Send it right away. Xiaoyi, Long Yi, if the 3 of us are separated, we will go to the Tianxing continent to reunite in the future. The 8 ancient races are all rooted in the Star Continent. Where will I go after I leave the ghost world?" Xiao Yang murmured, obviously thinking of something. "Okay." The two agreed directly. Senior, let's go then. I promised you to go to the ghost world before. I've stayed here for too long in Shen Santian, so it's time to leave. What happened before? Thank you. Xiao Yang finished speaking, a dazzling smile appeared on his face, and then without waiting for everyone to react, his body flashed with the power of 3-color holy flames, leaping into the space that seemed to be able to in the vortex of space cracks that devoured human beings in an instant. You two guys, let's go together. After the Master of Soul Eater finished speaking, a strong force directly involved Long Yi and Xiao Yi into the space crack, and then returned to Xiao Yang's body by himself. At this moment, Xiao Yang 4 people, slowly dissipated in the eyes of many strong people. Kaylin, wait for me to come back. But just when Kaylin wanted to chase out, she heard a gentle voice. You want to bring them both back? I will wait for you here. Kaylin just came to the space crack vortex when Xiao Yang's voice came out, and then said to it. Okay. Hearing this, Xiao Yang said something rather unrestrained, and then the aura of the 4 of them disappeared directly into this world. Zana, wait for me. And with the disappearance of the 4 people, the vortex of space cracks that swallowed everything and could not be stopped finally closed slowly. The entire Shen Santian has experienced such a catastrophe, and the sun is breaking through the clouds and scattered here. Little guy, you have always been the guy in our burning incense pavilion. The next time I see you, I'm afraid I've already turned into a dragon. Zhu Jin and his group watched Xiao Yang leave, and they slowly faced the sky and gave a big gift. At that time, the affairs of Shen Santian will all come to an end, and the super sect of Shentian will be returning to normal, and this is still a fertile land where geniuses are born in large numbers. The terrifying strong wind slapped the 3 of them like a sharp scabbard, causing the 3 of them to make a slight cry. Oh shit. Although we were caught in the spatial vortex, this spatial vortex doesn't have to be so cruel, right? Xiao Yi, who was on the side, looked at the darkness, without any brilliance, only the sound of the piercing wind rang out and couldn't help saying, okay. Seeing Xiao Yi speak like this, Long Yi, who was beside him, laughed. Second brother. And Xiao Yi also smiled slightly. Even though we have to leave Shen Santian sooner or later, it is unexpected that King Shen Ling actually used Shen Kang's body and all his strength to condense the space channel, so we had to leave early. If there is a chance in the future, I must come back and have a good reminiscence with Zhu Laro and the others. Xiao Yang looked at the entrance of the disappearing space whirlpool and said, Second brother, where are we going now? Looking at the endless space whirlpool, Xiao Yi asked. Whoosh whoosh. As soon as Xiao Yi's voice fell, there was a violent breaking wind, which turned out to be vaguely attacking Xiao Yi directly. Third brother, be careful. Long Yi's eyes were quick and he pushed Xiao Yi's figure away. Bang bang bang. In the invisible sound of breaking wind, I don't know what kind of force hit Long Yi's body, and that Long Yi was forced back dozens of meters before he stabilized his figure. Big brother, are you alright? Xiao Yang saw Long Yi like this and couldn't help but ask Long Yi. Xiao Yang was extremely shocked. Long Yi is now a genuine fighting immortal strongman. The sound of breaking the wind in this area can emit such a powerful force. If the strength of himself and Xiao Yi has not reached the fighting immortal level, I am afraid that there are more fortunes than good fortune. Senior, what's going on? When Xiao Yang was at a loss, he hurriedly asked the Soul Eater in his body, because when he just left, Xiao Yang felt the Soul Eater returning to his body. Among what was waiting for Xiao Yang was deathly tranquility. It's really a bunch of interesting little guys. You seem to have a familiar smell on your body. After a while, in the vortex of space, an air mass enveloped in black aura slowly surrounded Xiao Yang. Ghost energy. Xiao Yang was shocked when he just smelled the power of this aura. The aura above this mysterious air mass is exactly the same as that of a ghost, and it is even more powerful than the ghost that Xiao Yang had encountered before. Xiao Yang didn't have the chance to get in touch with the powerhouses in the ghost world. At best, he was the Lord of Soul Eater. Could it be that this mysterious guy was the enemy of the Lord of Soul Eater? Xiao Yang doesn't know how powerful Soul Eater is. The only thing Xiao Yang knows is that the enemy of Soul Eater can easily wipe himself out. The next moment, the heart on Xiao Yang's chest seemed to smell dangerous fluctuations, and traces of blue flames slowly emerged, as if he wanted to protect Xiao Yang subconsciously. Boy, don't run. I won't do anything to you. The mysterious black energy in the vortex of space just came to Xiao Yang, and he immediately saw Xiao Yang running away and said directly. Xiao Yang couldn't do it without running. When this mysterious black qi enveloped him just now, the blood in his body stopped flowing, and even his fighting qi was frozen. Your Excellency, we don't seem to have anything to do with each other. If you do this, Aren't you afraid of provoking divine condemnation? Xiao Yang also knew that in the vortex of space, it would undoubtedly be more difficult to escape from the power of the Almighty in front of him than to ascend to the sky. Human boy, you are right. But there are fluctuations in you that I am familiar with. In this way, you let me search your body. If I sense something wrong, I will apologize to you in person. How about that? The mysterious black chi was still unwilling to give up, and said slowly, but there was no one in the voice. A negotiated tone, more like an order. Don't worry, although you have some wonders like holy flames in your body, my goal is not it. It seemed that I could see Xiao Yang's concerns, and there was a trace of mysterious black energy. Who? It seems that the war has just ended, and it has to start again. Xiao Yi, Long Yi. Xiao Yang heard the words, shouted loudly, and said directly. Since Mu Yingying's sacrifice, Xiao Yang's source that was injured by detonating the strange fire has also been repaired by him, and even his strength has been promoted a lot. According to Xiao Yang's guess, his current strength has already entered the 9-star Do Emperor. Although he has only just stepped in, it can be regarded as a real rank 1 9-star Do Emperor, and Xiao Yang still has ghost face soul flame that has not been swallowed. It is impossible to say that it can reach a whole new level after swallowing. Kill. Long Yi and Xiao Yi looked at each other, and a majestic aura emerged. Obviously, the mysterious black air in front of them made them both feel a wave of death. Haha, what a vigilant little guy. But the more you are like this, the more you make me feel that my induction is right. Then let me take action to capture you. The mysterious black chi slowly exhaled, and then outside the black chi, a dark palm with nearly 1,000 meters of energy slowly formed. Is this a 2-star fighting immortal or 3 stars fighting immortals? Even if Xiao Yang used his internal burning skills and many methods of holy flame, they were still insignificant in front of such a behemoth. Damn. Just when Xiao Yang was about to fight desperately, a familiar voice slowly cut through the space. Ha ha. My disciple, when is it a kid's turn to take action? And when the palm of nearly 1,000 feet of energy was about to attack Xiao Yang, a certain place in the vortex of space collapsed, and then a burst of energy led to the sky. The golden yellow energy giant claws suddenly shattered the void, and slapped a claw on the palm of the black energy. The golden dragon claw slammed out, and the huge energy palm was immediately smashed away. Dragon Clan? Looking at this scene, the mysterious black gas couldn't help roaring, and a tone of fear slowly emerged. The person I want to protect by the Golden Dragon King is also the one who dares to move in your mere ants. Seeing the golden dragon claw smashing his own energy palm with one claw, his aura never weakened, and he was attacking the mysterious black energy. Golden Dragon King? Didn't you already fall? Damn, is actually a guy sheltered by a big man. Good luck to you. The mysterious black gas heard the words, and threw a word viciously, and then his figure flashed and disappeared in an instant. Uncle Shi. And Xiao Yang stared blankly at the golden dragon claw that was full of majesty in front of him. On the golden dragon claw, a powerful force that competed with heaven and earth slowly appeared. It's better to talk about the old days in the future. I just went back and I still have a lot of things to do. The main reason for the force to cut through the space this time is to feel that your life is in danger. Unexpectedly, it's a step too late. But now that you are safe and sound, I will take Long Yi and Xiao Yi back. Some places are more suitable for them. The Golden Dragon King Shuiying said slowly. Second brother, we'll come as soon as we go. Next time we meet, don't be thrown too far by me. Xiao Yi and Long Yi looked at each other and said, Hey, next time we meet, I don't know who is so powerful. Xiao Yang was also quite happy when he heard this. After all, Long Yi's body has not been infused with dragon blood, and the identity of Xiao Yihua elf is unclear, so he can't get anything from following him. Master of Soul Eater, I don't care about what happened to my disciple in Xian Santian before, but this time I go to the ghost realm. If something goes wrong with my precious disciple in your ghost realm, be careful, I will clear your Soul Eater realm. After the Golden Dragon King finished speaking, with a flash of light, he took Xiao Yi and Long's own figures away, and then left a voice that shook the sky and the earth, slowly echoing in the vortex of this space. With the disappearance of the Golden Dragon King and his party, the Soul Eater talisman in Xiao's body slowly loosened. Senior Soul Eater. Seemingly sensing the loosening of the Soul Eater talisman, Xiao Yang asked the Soul Eater talisman in his body alone in this dark space whirlpool. Well, that's what, it's really good to sleep. As soon as the Master of Soul Eater loosened, he was discovered by Xiao Yang, and he couldn't help hurriedly looking for some other excuses to cover up his embarrassment. Senior, what was that black air just now? Looking at that appearance, it seems to be coming for you. Xiao Yang is also a smart person, and in just a few moments, he noticed something. When he was just outside the vortex of space, the Lord of Soul Eater still had aura. Once he entered it, the aura converged, and when the mysterious black energy appeared, he was even more cautious. That guy just now really came for me. Soul Eater asked Xiao Yang, but he didn't want to hide it. That guy just now, as you thought, is indeed my enemy. The Soul Eater said. Zaidu. Enemies? Xiao Yang suddenly became puzzled when he heard the words. He is my enemy in the ghost world. He is called the Ghost Shepherd. He is a guy who can freely enter the human world and the ghost world. The Soul Eater said slightly, but it only made Xiao Yang feel that the guy seems to be intentionally hiding something. Okay, I know you have a lot of questions, but about this shepherd and the ghost world, and how to resurrect Mu Yingying, let's leave here first. It always doesn't feel right to me here, said Soul Eater. The way to revive Mu Yingying. Xiao Yang was overjoyed when he heard the words. Obviously at this time Xiao Yang already knew about Mu Yingying's sacrifice. I won't lie to you, and this time I'm going to the ghost world, maybe I need your help. The Lord of Soul Eater said softly. Okay. Hearing this, Xiao Yang nodded secretly. The matter of Mu Yingying's sacrifice was exactly what Xiao Yang felt at the moment. You're lucky this time, you didn't encounter a space storm, otherwise you'll just die, said Soul Eater. This, how to go? And Xiao Yang looked at this rather dark space whirlpool and said helplessly, follow me. And the Master of Soul Eater directly took Xiao Yang towards a certain place. Crash. After a while, the two figures walked a long way, and then came to a void and stopped. Break the space here and get out from here, said Soul Eater. Okay. Hearing this, Xiao Yang did not hesitate, and immediately agreed, and immediately the power of holy flame emerged in his body, ready to act. Bang bang bang. And this space was unexpectedly simple. Xiao Yang made a light blow and was instantly shattered. Go. Upon seeing this, the Master of Soul Eater hurriedly said, and after that, he took Xiao Yang's body and rushed into it, and then the shattered space returned to calm. Maybe King Shenling didn't even think that he wanted to kill Xiao Yang by urging the vortex of space, but Xiao Yang had the Master of the Soul Eater on him. At best, he was driving him to the ghost world to save him first. Time. Slag. Xiao Yang just left the vortex of space, only to feel that his eyes lit up. The dazzling light made Xiao Yang's eyes slightly sting, and he couldn't open his eyes, but a rather desolate cry had already appeared beside his ears. What Xiao Yang didn't expect was that the aura in this ghost world was different from that in the human world. When he just arrived here, the overwhelming aura directly pressed Xiao Yang's flesh, and it actually came out directly from somewhere in the sky, showing meteor falls generally go towards the ground. Aya! The next moment, Xiao Yang just wanted to open his eyes and wanted to inspect something, but he directly bumped into something quite soft, and then it seemed like something was broken and something came out. Heaven descended from the gods. Who is this guy? Besides Xiao Yang, some intermittent figures kept talking. The next moment, Xiao Yang listened to these voices and slowly opened his pupils, but saw a rather funny scene. Xiao Yang saw that there were 5 figures standing in front of him. Among the 5 people, one was a woman and 4 men. The woman's face was extremely ugly, staring at Xiao Yang fiercely, while his own figure was abruptly crushed a rather small monster. This monster is quite small, like a pet. You crushed my soul beast. You pay me. When the woman among the 5 saw this, she stepped forward slightly, and then scolded Xiao Yang angrily. Xiao Yang saw that the woman's blue silk was with a wood-carved flower and wood hairpin. There were no other decorations. It was a little soft, and the whole body exuded a faint fragrance. This. Xiao Yang heard the words and was completely confused. He didn't come to the ghost world from being broken in the vortex of space just now. How could he fall directly from the sky? And he also crushed other people's spirit beasts to death. Xiao Yang looked down at this time, and found that there was an extremely small magical beast standing under his body. If it weren't for this guy, I'm afraid it would have fallen from the sky, and I'm not allowed to be seriously injured. After all, this is the ghost world, not the human world, and the fighting spirit and strength are not as good as the human world. This girl, I will compensate you. Xiao Yang said slowly after a deep voice. You pay? What are you paying me for? The woman seemed to have a good relationship with this soul beast and couldn't help scolding. When Xiao Yang saw this, after all, he was at fault first, so he shook his head slightly and let the woman scold. Okay, little sister, this little brother didn't do it on purpose, so he should do a good deed. At this time, one of the 4 men walked out, who seemed to be kind. This guy is the leader of the 5. Just now, Xiao Yang fell directly from the sky, crushing his sister's soul beast to death. This soul beast is not so precious, but he has had feelings with his sister for many years, but he felt a tyrannical aura from Xiao Yang, so he did not dare to act rashly. After all, he had already stepped into the 9-star fighting emperor. Strength. The strength of the person in front of him is probably extremely terrifying, and the 5 of them still have to hurry, so naturally they don't want to make trouble. This little brother must also be going to Ghost King Ridge, right? The next moment, the man smiled at Xiao Yang. Ghost King Ridge? Where is this? Xiao Yang asked slowly. This is a management place under Li Hun territory, called Ghost King Ridge, where countless powerhouses are chasing. The woman also spoke slowly, her voice full of hatred for Xiao Yang. Ghost King Ridge. Xiao Yang was a little surprised, but he still came to the Ghost Realm, but when he heard Li Soul Realm, Xiao Yang felt that the Soul Eater talisman in his body was sending out a strong force. Let Xiao Yang sting slightly. I don't know what treasures that Ghost Wangling has. Xiao Yang, who had just arrived, obviously didn't know what was going on, and immediately asked. Hey. Ghost King Ridge is a good treasure place in Li Soul Domain. It is said that there are countless treasures in the Ghost King Ridge, and if you have a predestined relationship, you can find the Ghost King well and spy on your own destiny from it. Those kinds of things have attracted countless strong people to follow. The man at the head said. Oh, it's so interesting. Xiao Yang laughed when he heard this. How about it, little brother, do you want to go with us? Said the man at the head. Here are some medicinal pills, as compensation for me crushing your soul beast. I still have something to do, so I won't be with you. There will be a period later. After Xiao Yang finished speaking, his figure disappeared in an instant, and then 3 quite exquisite bottles of medicinal pills slowly came out of the air. This guy is actually a refining medicine? The woman who was a little dissatisfied with Xiao Yang just now couldn't help being shocked when she saw this. As soon as he shot it, it was a 3rd-grade imperial pill. I'm afraid this guy's background is a bit tyrannical. Forget it, let's go first. The man in the lead directly put away the 3 bottles, and then left facing a certain place. But the strange thing is that the strength of these 5 people